Hey guys, it's Lisee. Welcome back to my kitchen. Run Padano. So first we gotta get these heirloom tomatoes ready to roast. We're gonna take these tomatoes, toss them in a bowl. I have several cloves of garlic. Don't be shy. My favorite way to purchase garlic is to buy the pre-packaged shelled cloves. It makes it so much easier and you still have that freshness that you won't get if you're buying like a jarred minced garlic or using garlic powder. Take your rough dice and now we're gonna go in with some extra virgin olive oil. I'm gonna do a generous drizzle of this olive oil. Don't be shy with that. And lastly, we're just gonna do super simple salt and pepper seasoning. I'm gonna give this a nice toss. You want all of the oil to coat each little heirloom tomato. So I just lined this cookie sheet with some parchment paper and I'm just gonna toss the tomatoes right on here. And you see how much garlic was left in that bowl? I gotta dig that out. You can't waste that good stuff. I'm just gonna take a silicone spatula and scrape it out. Give them all a little bit of space. Now let's take these into a 400-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. Depending on the size of your tomatoes, they might take a little bit longer to get like the desired tenderness that you're gonna need. The Parmesan is essential to get that nutty, salty flavor in the coating of the chicken. I have just some Gran Padano Parmesan that I'm gonna grate on like the almost smallest setting. This is usually where they would tell a story, right?
Story time.
Chicken Parmesan was like the star dish of one of our college dining halls. Everyone loved it. Everyone went to this specific dining hall to get the chicken parm. But I don't think there is actual Parmesan in it. Like I think the way that they prepared it was just using a breaded chicken breast with mozzarella and marinara.
Ew.
That's kind of underwhelming. We're not gonna do that. All right, we got enough parm here. So in order to pound out this chicken breast, I'm gonna need to line my counter with some cling wrap. Make sure we're not polluting any surfaces. Now we're gonna cover the chicken in another layer of cling wrap. So you're covering all the pieces because it will spread out when you start pounding. So give it a little bit of space. Here's the fun part. I don't have a meat pounder, so I'm taking a lemon juicer. Anything heavy will work. Half inch, maybe a little bit less thick. So it's been 30 minutes, we're gonna take the tomatoes out. They look really good. Now we have our 4-ingredient station to get the chicken ready to bake. So a dredging station kind of works in steps. So you have chicken that's gonna stick to the flour, and then egg that's going to stick to the flour. And then finally, for the crunch, we have our mixture of breadcrumbs and the Parmesan that we grated earlier. So our chicken's ready to go into the oven. We have it preheated to 450 degrees and we're gonna do about 25 minutes, give or take. We'll check on it. If you don't have the right bread, you don't have a sandwich, okay? So we're starting with this super crusty, soft on the inside baguette. So just cut the corners off. You can probably get 3 sandwiches. We're gonna just go ahead and cut this right in half to get a nice, about 6 or 8 inch sub. So basically we're just making garlic bread. So here I have a bowl with an extra large pat of butter. To the butter, I'm going to add some minced garlic, and I'm using salted butter. If you use unsalted, that's fine, but you're gonna wanna add in a little bit of salt for flavor. Into that, I'm going to do a little drizzle of olive oil, and we're gonna microwave this just to melt it down a little bit. So we have our melted butter, olive oil, and garlic mixture here, and I'm just going to carefully spoon it over the bread. The Kerrygold butter is just such a beautiful golden color. It's so flavorful. All right, so I'm gonna go flip the chicken to make sure we don't get any sogginess on the underside. We get crisp all around. Wow, beautiful color. And we'll leave that guy in for like 5 to 10 more minutes. The chicken's done, let's grab it. So we've got a beautiful golden color on this. The Parmesan has actually like almost formed a crust. Okay, I've got a fresh sheet of parchment on here and we're gonna load up the baguette. I'm gonna switch my oven to broil, so we're gonna get a nice crust on top without getting the bread too hard because you want it to maintain the tenderness. Right. Traditional mozzarella is wonderful, sure. But the added texture of this burrata is just gonna elevate these sandwiches. Sometimes you forget about the bread, but look it, we caught it right in time. We've got a little bit of char on the edges, but it's gonna be so perfect in the middle. I recommend setting a timer for the bread. That's something I never do. I never learn from my mistake. I'm gonna chiffonade some basil, and we're gonna put this on top of our roasted tomatoes. It's gonna give a really bright, herby finish. Here we go with our first layer of bread. Perfectly toasty. Can you hear that crunch? A little ASMR for you. Go in with our tomato. They're so tender, they're actually falling apart, which is perfect. That way, you can kind of flatten them out so the rest of the ingredients aren't like teetering. Alrighty. Really don't be afraid to dig in there. And then on top of the tomatoes, just grab a little bit of your chiffonade basil. I'm gonna slice this in half so that it fits on our baguette. We're gonna do, ooh, this is just so perfect. Like you can feel how crunchy it is. Right here. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, spoon the burrata. So we have one of our burrata balls here. We're gonna dig in. How magnificent. Take a nice generous spoonful, top it right off. Guys, this sandwich is gonna blow your mind. All right, I'm gonna take our top piece of baguette, and here we go. Let's dig in. All the ingredients in here are so tender. All right, check out the layers. We've got our bread, tomato, basil, perfectly cooked, crispy chicken Parmesan, and then our creamy burrata. This is gonna be insane. Let's take a bite. Amazing. It really is its own sandwich. Like it's really a new experience, which is exciting, but just satisfies that craving for comfort food. Wow. This sandwich is awesome. I hope you try it for yourself, but if not, I hope you had a good time watching me make it and enjoy it today. Thanks for watching.